R&B legend Brian McKnight accused of ignoring his dying son Nico, and fans are in shock, allegedly. Let's talk about this and welcome to the Wyoming Celebrity Entertainment News. In this heartbreaking story, R&B singer Brian McKnight is being called out for allegedly ignoring his biological son Nico while he battled cancer for 2 years. So this is so hard for me to do, but let's break it down. The emotional final messages from Nico and why so many fans are saying Brian McKnight turned his back on his children. Was it bitterness or boundary gone too far? Well, let's talk about it. So let's talk about Nico's sad passing, and RIP to him. I pray that this family find healing and consolation, Niko McKnight, which is Brian McKnight, biological son, passed away after fighting cancer for 2 years. During his illness, Brian never reached out to Niko, not even once. Many people are hurt by this, saying a father should never turn his back on his children like that, especially while they're dying. Let's talk about the family feud, because Brian McKnight had a long history of problem with his older kids. He said they were disrespectful and he didn't want to keep financially support them as an adult, so he cut ties with all of them. His son and daughter, he even claimed one of his daughter was involved with someone inappropriate within a cousin, which led to a lawsuit, and as a result of that, his daughter won the lawsuit and that was settled. Choosing his new family, that seems to be the problem that most people feel a way about, because Brian McKnight has a new wife named Leilani, and he treats her kids like his real children. He posts about them all the single time on social media. He celebrates them as if those were his biological kids, and even gave one of them his full name. He says these are the only kids that he acknowledged about his biological kids. According to him, he mentioned that his biological kids, he said they came from evil family and bring negativity into his life. So the Bible tells us about your seeds. These are his seeds and they never go away. So for him to have that mindset, this is crucial. He has no love and compassion, and that's my honest thoughts on that. I would love to hear your thoughts on it. But let's talk about Niko's final words. Before Niko passed away, he tweeted about wanting love and peace with his dad. He said he tries to make peace, but his dad wouldn't even say, "I love you." Oh my God. And this is what he wanted before he passed. Can you imagine when your father turned his back on you? How does that make you feel? The Bible said we shall honor our mother and father for peace and long life. So regardless of how they were acting, he did admit that they were bad children. But at the end of the day, your parents should never neglect you.
In order to live a life that you love, you have to get rid of the evil and the negativity, even if that evil and negativity is related. The children that I do not currently have relationships with, I don't post about them. Instead, I post about the children with whom I do have relationships, with whom I am proud of, and about whom I want to share my pride in their accomplishments. I don't live in the past. Another thing a lot of people have been talking about is the lawsuit my adult daughter Brianna brought against me a few years ago. In 2020, my biological daughter Brianna sued me for defamation and breach of contract, and I agreed to pay her $318,000 with no admission of any wrongdoing whatsoever. She dismissed a $1 million case in exchange for payment of $318,000 with no admission that I did anything wrong and no requirement that I retract my statement or remove it from the internet. I did not defame her. I made no false statements. I made up no stories. I want to address the abandonment issue for the last time. I never abandoned anyone. Our estrangement was mutual, and I changed my will the next day. I make absolutely no apologies for naming my infant son Brian. I want him and the world to know that he is the one who who is my true legacy.
By their broken relationship, yet even in pain, he still said he loved his dad, and then also he had this uncle, which is Uncle Claude Speak Out, Brian McKnight's brother. Claude shared a touching message about Niko. He called him a talented and kind young man.
This morning I found out that my nephew, Niko McKnight, passed away. He'd been bravely battling cancer for the last 2 years or so. And I have a lot of feelings right now. I'm not going off a script or anything like that. I'm just going to be raw with how I'm feeling. Niko was one of those amazing kids who was quirky and curious and ridiculously talented. Amazing singer, an amazing guitar player, had a great eye, was a photographer. And just one of those kids that, at least in my estimation, was somebody you always wanted to be around. And so it really sucks that he's no longer with us. Apparently there's so much hurt going on, or was so much hurt going on, that a lot of things didn't get resolved. And again, I want to go back to Niko. I know that kid had a lot inside, a lot eating at him for a long, long, long time. That may have contributed to what happened with him. What I do know is he's out of pain now. And so I can rejoice in the fact that he no longer has to go through the chemo and the radiation and everything else. But I just want to uplift that young man and say we will see him again one day. I love you, Niko. Uncle Claude.
Brian McKnight, he needs some counseling. He needs some mental health with some reconciliation, because we can tell that he rejects his children, And a child, even if imperfected, deserve love, especially during hard times. I mean, kids mess up. Sometimes they go through their ups and downs in life. And this is where your parent comes in, where, they're able to speak to you, give you a little word of encouragement, a little wisdom. You should never turn your back on your children, because they all go through life. And I'm sure he made a lot of bad choices, whether it be having his children with different mothers. I don't know. We're just saying he made bad choices for himself. So of course his kids will make bad choices. It doesn't mean to give up, and healing takes effort from both sides, but it should never be ignored until it's too late. And as you can tell that his son forgave him, his son his son Niko was accountable. He mentioned that yes, they were bad, things happened, but nevertheless he loves his father. He wants to reconcile. But man, wow, Brian McKnight never expected that. When you sing love, when you speak about love and compassion, and your action is two different things, this is wolf in sheep clothes, And imagine, how does his family see something like that and say nothing about it, And fame and pride should never stand between family bond. It should never, because family is family. But again, he's a celebrity. He's making his money. Who is us to tell him what he should do with his own life? Legacy isn't just about money or name. It's about love and relationship. So the fact that he create his children, right? So you should never leave them, never forsake them. It's not looking bright on his side, And a lot of people may have different thoughts and process. A lot of people may have different opinion on this. And I understand, but never reject your children. It doesn't matter how old they are. It doesn't matter what they do. You still have to love them, even if this means loving them from a distance. But the fact that his son was on his dying bed begging for love, and his own father rejected him, allegedly, that is sad. And karma can hit hard when love is withheld. So, he created his own family. You never know. Your family could be seeing something like this. All of this is going to be online. It's going to stay there. His children will grow up one day, see it. You never know. They will probably have some type of resentment because of his own biological children. I mean, let me know your thoughts on this. I could be wrong, but this is my thought. I would love to hear from you. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and also to subscribe if you're brand new to this channel. Until then, we'll see you around. Thank you for watching. Be blessed.